I have recently started to sew and it has been an absolute nightmare. I thought it was going to be fun. I thought it was going to be chill. I thought I was going to make a whole bunch of cute dresses and look absolutely smoking cute this summer. But it has been a lot more difficult than I have imagined. I watch YouTube videos and I see people draping and it looks so easy, it looks so quick, and I'm watching these videos on 2x speed and everything is just beautiful. People are sewing so quickly, they're making the cutest clothes, they look amazing. I have a little bit of a stockier build, I guess. I have lots of muscle. My waist is not super tiny, I'm more of a rectangle shape, and my thighs, thanks to all of the muscle that I have on them, are also pretty thick. I also have thick arms, again, because of muscle. So I don't really have a lot of nice clothes that fit me very nicely. So this is why I wanted to start sewing, because maybe I can actually make stuff that I love and I want to wear all of the time. That's been the goal. So the first thing I started to do was buy jeans at Value Village, because whenever I buy jeans that fit my thighs, they usually don't fit my waist. And so I've had a hard time buying jeans, and it just doesn't feel right to spend $80 on jeans and then spend more money to get them tailored. So I've just been wearing stretchy, skinny jeans for the most part. But lately I've gone to Value Village and I've picked up jeans that fit my thighs but not my waist, and I've learned how to take those in. So that was my very first project. I even did it without a sewing machine. I used embroidery thread just to make a dart and pull them in. Let me grab a pair. Where's my jeans? So this was one of my very first projects and it was very successful. So it gave me a lot of confidence, maybe too much confidence. But I bought these cute pair of jeans. They're DKNY from Value Village and I love the color. They're a straight leg. They look really nice on me, but it was a little bit wide at the waist. So all I did was I just made a little dart with thread, and you pull the dart tight and it just pinches the fabric in a little bit. So here you can see that I just took it in a little bit. These, I think I've lost a little bit of weight, so these are a little bit big on me still, so I might take this out, do it again. But now I've learned to tailor appropriately, so I might actually even open it up and take it in properly with a sewing machine. I'm not sure yet because I'm scared to mess it up. I actually really like these jeans and I don't want to mess it up. So that was one of my first projects. I've also done this to multiple pairs of jeans by now, and it worked out okay. So I was thrifting a lot and finding cool stuff at Value Village, and then I found this beautiful lace, I don't know what it was, tablecloth or something. And I thought, wow, this would be great for vacation too. So I actually cut it and just made a skirt. This is just an elastic gather that's very basic, easy. So the skirt is cute. And I also found a top, I believe on YouTube somewhere, and like a reversible kind of multi-use top. And I just roughly copied that idea. So this is just basically a square with a hole cut out for my head, and I just put it on like that. And it's just like a top. This is inside out, my seam is out. I also bought a serger, and I was very happy to be able to serge these edges. So this is kind of like the top. So this was another successful project. So I was a little bit confident in my sewing prowess. So I wanted to make a summer dress for my vacation coming up. And I just went to Fabricland and I found this cute fabric that I thought would make a very fun dress. And I found a video on YouTube, I believe, of how to make a dress out of 2 rectangles, essentially. I think she might have also used interfacing, but I skipped that part. And this is the dress that I made. It's a cute dress. There's definitely lots of errors in there. I did not follow patterns. I'm pretty bad at following instructions. I'm kind of a glance and get the general idea of what's to happen, and then I improvise, and that's probably why I've been struggling with sewing so much. So this was successful. Now I'm feeling super confident in getting lots of bed sheets from Value Village to make clothes out of. The next project I tried to do was I wanted to make a camisole out of this satin material bed sheet, and I didn't realize that satin is a very hard material to work with. So before I was even able to make this, I would cut the pattern out. I think I bought a pattern off of Etsy for a camisole. I would cut the pattern out, trying to cut several pieces at once, not realizing that you're supposed to pin down satin because it slides a lot. So the fabric pieces that I cut weren't even exactly the same from each other, even though I cut them at the same time with the same pattern. So it did not work. I had to scrap that. And then I started sewing. This camisole is like a couple months later. I've attempted this again, and it's actually okay. I don't like how thin the fabric is, so I don't think I would ever wear this as a top. So I just stopped sewing it and stopped trying to finish it because it's also really large. I wanted an oversized camisole, and I think this is too oversized, so I just stopped sewing this. But this was good practice with how to work with this kind of material. And I am a belly dancer as well, so I think I'm going to use the rest of this bed sheet to make satin belly dance pants. I think that would be cool. So this was lots of fails there. After I failed with the satin camisole, oh my gosh, I had so many fails along the way as well. I was trying to create bias tape for this material, not realizing that this is synthetic material, which means that it's plastic, and I completely melted the material with my super hot iron. So don't recommend that. Very highly recommend working with natural fibers that are easy to work with for your first couple of materials. Even this fabric was very thin. I would go with like cotton, linen, muslin bed sheets, polyester bed sheets, stuff that you can practice with that doesn't slide around like this satin, and also doesn't melt when you're trying to iron it. Another mistake I made was I was ironing stuff on my rug because I don't have an ironing board, and I did not realize that the rug was acrylic. And so again, my hot iron melted the rug. And I was doing so well on this project. I was so happy with this little tie top that I was making. Like, this looks really good. The sizing is still a little bit off. I think it's too small for what it is. But anyway, the iron melted my rug and it got on the shirt. And so I gave up on the shirt. I also gave up on the shirt because I don't love the sizing. So it's supposed to like go over your head here and just be a tie on the side. This was also a bed sheet that I purchased from Value Village. I thought this would again be a really cute summer outfit, but as soon as I did this, I gave up all hope of fixing it, and this is an abandoned project. This was a successful project. After I failed with the satin camisole, I went back to the polyester cotton bed sheets and I cut out the same pattern and made it with a cotton, I think this is cotton bed sheet. It's not perfect. I think I just winged this pattern. I made my own bias tape. It's not sewed flat or nice by any means, but this was my second complete project from scratch, the first being that white blue dress. So I'm happy with it. I could wear it to sleep. Because it's a bed sheet, the material is incredibly thin. So next time I use bed sheets to make shirts, I'm going to make them double layer. Like, this one is a double layer. I like that it's a lot thicker. You can't see through it quite as easily. Whereas here, I feel like it's very see-through. And I would not wear this out. I mean, I wouldn't wear it out anyway because it was my second project and it's just not good. But this is definitely a sleep shirt. Another mistake I made was being too aggressive with the seam ripper. I ripped a lot of fabric as I was trying to rip the seams, which I did on this project. This used to be a pair of jeans, and I originally bought it to make it a skirt, but once I tried the jeans on again, I thought that it could be a really cute pair of jeans if I could take it in correctly. So I was playing around with it, trying to take in the crotch. I watched a lot of tailoring videos around taking the crotch in, but when I ripped the seams, I made a lot of holes that I couldn't fix. I also had a really hard time with the crotch in general, trying to make it sit nicely. I ended up with a lot of diaper-ish, baggy area around the front crotch area, and it looked just like a diaper, I guess. So I didn't like that. And then after making so many holes when I was seam ripping, I just decided I had to cut it all off, and this was born. So this jean to skirt thrift flip took me maybe 12 hours. And it's just an H&M skirt or pair of jeans like this. I probably could have bought this for 20 bucks, but I spent 12 maybe hours on it. It was a lot of learning. I had a really hard time trying to do this kind of seam. I didn't understand it. So what I actually did was just I just ignored it and worked around it, and I don't think anyone is going to stare that hard, so it's okay. And then I also used a serger to try to get as close to the seam as possible, and that ended up creating a little tiny hole because the serger cut the fabric, but the seam was so thick that the needles couldn't get in there. Anyway, there was a hole, and so I've been watching patching videos, and I just covered that area in white thread. And it's not perfect by any means, but it will do. And like I said, I had a lot of issue trying to get that seam go all the way down, so I just sewed, and it's a normal seam, just as you would with any straight stitch, not this special jean seam. Although I am learning how to do this. I watched a video and it seems more simple than I thought, so maybe I'll try again, and the next one will be a success. Hopefully you've learned something and don't make the same mistakes as I do. I'm kind of stubborn in that I like to make my own mistakes and experience it myself, or else the lesson doesn't stick. So unfortunately, it takes me a long time to learn something. If I were smart, I would have learned from other people's mistakes, but I don't claim to be a super smart person, so that's okay. If I were to begin again, I would definitely start with projects and super simple sewing patterns, and with every pattern that I do, pick up a new skill.